one noise.
What are you doing here? That was lovely. Make sure you throw a compressor on here, Kurt. We'll get that.
Funny, that's what the guy on YouTube told us. I'm just gonna do the whole glass because fuck
That's
it.
why I brought these big ones, dude. Kurt's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I want to drink a whole bottle of wine."
Well, they didn't have small bottles, and I didn't realize wine came in that big of a bottle.
It was like $15, right?
Yes. It was $13.99. Oh shit. This is so what? This is a first. This is a podcast first.
We got champagne.
We've had champagne plenty of times.
But also that was straight from the bottle.
All right, well, fucking pinky out. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's as dry as I thought it was gonna be. Ooh, shit.
I fucking love.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
It is good.
I wasn't sure from your face, but no, that's my shit. Is like sweet, dry wine.
Sweet dry wine.
If I'm gonna drink alcohol.
How do you get to this point in alcoholism? Not alcoholism.
Alcoholism.
Ben's little secret.
You didn't hear that part, Mom.
To where you're like, I'm just gonna try it all, and then wine. You end up at wine.
I don't know. I think it's. I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of feminine in that way, but I just would much rather, especially like compared to beer.
Sure.
I almost never drink beer, like unless I'm, just at a concert or something. But I'm just chilling.
I think I'm gonna have to lessen my beer intake too.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's getting a little ridiculous. Plus, I had some things go down that health-wise, and I'm like on medicine now.
What things went down?
Oh, I could say it now. It's been long enough. Had a heart thing, man. Almost had a stroke.
No way.
Yeah.
What happened?
I was feeling bad for like a year, but it was gradual. It's gradual. So like at my age, you think, oh, it's probably testosterone.
Probably, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Things are starting to shut down,
Probably just my body.
Right. This is like, okay. And then last few months, it's been like, dude, I cannot. There's no such thing as either enough sleep or if I work, I'll work like 30 minutes. Construction, you work hard. So it's like 30 minutes and then I'll have to sit down for 30 minutes. And I just like, I cannot function. And so finally I tell my wife like, hey, give me a doctor's appointment, right? I don't feel good anymore. And she gets me when we get there. Dude, I didn't even make it past the interview. We're sitting there and she's taking my blood pressure. She's like mid-sentence, like, do you feel okay? And I was like, I'm tired. And she was like, mm-mm. She's like, do you have a headache right now? And
Don't go to sleep.
Yeah, she was like, do you have a headache right now? And I was like, no. She's like, do you get headaches? I was like, no. She's like, gets a different machine, brings in a doctor. She's like, you're about to have a stroke.
Oh my God.
Your blood pressure is literally through the roof.
Great timing, though, I guess. Right?
I guess, well, they said if I'd have waited a couple weeks, like right around now, like a few weeks, I'd be stroked out.
Oh, this was not long ago.
This was less than a month ago. Or right at the start of a month, like 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. But everything's
well
cool now or getting better?
It's going to be a long road. So I'm not out of I'm out of some woods, but I'm not out of the woods. But It turns out there is like some silver linings. Now I have to do all this stuff. Oh my God. Blood, this, that, do history stuff, whatever. And I go back in and they're like, well, your cholesterol's high. And I'm like, yeah, look at me. Also, my whole family, the cholesterol's, it's like we all knew that was on the list, right?
Sure.
Like you don't look at me and go, I bet his cholesterol is functional. No. And then no diabetes, no bad blood, like white blood cell cancer type things, none of that. But my fucking thyroid is basically doesn't work. And I was like, well, that explains it. That's everything.
Remind me what a thyroid is. I know I've heard
so
of this,
it mitigates so much stuff, dude. Your heart rhythm, which stroking out, it mitigates your metabolism. That's everything. All the people who are like, if you're like morbidly obese and stuff, a lot of times they'll have thyroid issues for sure. And I don't know when that happened, but I've been saying that for a few years. I feel like that has to be something. And she was like, this thing's to the point of almost like just non-functioning.
Right.
So,
oh yeah, it's in your throat, right?
Right.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. So like now I'm on medicine and it's already been like, what, 2 weeks, Kurt? Yeah, since I've been taking the meds. And I starting to feel alive again.
Nice.
It's slow,
good.
but like, you've done construction. right?
Right, yeah, for
Right.
sure.
Well, you know those days when you just feel fucking stronger? When you're just
Yes.
like, what the fuck? You take a brick and you're like,
Yeah.
can I? Can I? You know, you're just like, I feel strong as fuck right now. That's starting to come back. Like I was working the other day and I picked up a bag of thin set and I was like, hey,
Thin set, yeah.
motherfucker, I'm gonna throw it
100%,
across the yard just to see if I can.
Yeah, that's awesome. I haven't worked construction in almost a year now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I stopped last year
Good for you, man.
to well, yeah.
That shit sucks.
Well, yeah, it sucks, but it's like it was exhausting me. I didn't hate working in construction because my brother was my boss.
Right.
So I had it pretty good and I enjoyed working with him and everything, but it was just exhausting me and I wanted to. We also, Census took a trip to LA in January to do some writing sessions and stuff. And
Nice.
while I was there, like just getting to see all the different people we worked with and like the process and stuff, it like Jathan says it like lit the producer fire.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And so I came back with like just this crazy like drive and ambition to write and produce music, and then I was like, dude, if I could like, Census is like the thing that I've always, it's like one of my top priorities. It's like part of my personality, like what people know me from, you know?
Right.
And so I really want to like take that seriously, but also if I could literally make what I'm doing for Census part of my job and then like producing and making art and stuff for other people, like songwriting, doing like I learned about songwriting. I never even fucking thought about that. You think about like the engineer, you know, like the artists and like the mastering engineer, stuff like that, but I never thought about like, so you know Allie Burnett?
I don't.
Burnett, she's
Okay.
awesome, but
She local to here or just an artist?
I think she lives in Little Rock or maybe Conway or something, but yeah, she's just starting to make music, but I've known her for a long time. She's been in like the music scene. People will know her for sure.
Okay.
People you're friends with.
Right.
Yeah, but she's been one of my like really good clients, and like, so she just knows that I can make good music, so we get together and like she'll have the song ideas and I'll help her like
Craft the songs.
turn what's in her brain into a song, and it's so cool. It's like super fulfilling, and so
like co-writing. Like
yes,
being
exactly.
there to be like
co-writing, producing,
Yeah, I call that person Justin Cole.
Really? Yeah.
Help me get it out of my head, dude.
100%. It's so nice. Just
everybody needs people like that. I think if you don't have one in your band, it makes it way harder.
And Allie, like, is already starting to. She sent me something the other day, a little bit of a track, and it was like, I was just listening to it, and I was like, "Bro, did you produce this?" And she's like, "Yeah, you know, I downloaded Logic. I'm just messing around." I was like, "No, that's awesome, dude."
Rabbit hole. You're going down it now. If you're in Logic, you're in there.
So much, like, to be able to like just visualize things and hear it in some kind of way.
All the things you learn help, I think, over time, right? So the more you learn, the more you see. One of the best things I ever heard was a producer that I like talking about his band writing a record, and they got in the room, and this was when they were young. So when you're young, nobody can tell you nothing. You know, everybody, fuck you, man. These are our songs, dude. And And then a producer comes in and goes, "Yeah, the first 2 minutes of this gotta go."
Yes.
And that was a huge revelation. Stop overwriting. You don't have to play the same part 4 million times to like intro the song. That was a big one for me.
Yeah.
Big, huge moment.
It's so weird to like, that's the hardest part, I think, of almost being in a band for a lot of people, and especially for me, I think, is just like being able to not, like, practicing not having your ego be hurt in moments like that. It's so fucking hard. I was literally thinking about this like earlier today. I don't know why, this is such a random example, but I was thinking about our song Traumatic Addict, and you know the song, I'm assuming.
I do.
The drums in that song are like ridiculous. Like Jared just fucking
goes
off.
A lot
she
of
always
songs.
does, right? Of course,
say,
it's Jared. So yeah, he goes off on that song. I remember I was with him when we were tracking drums for that EP, and that was the one song where we hadn't really like talked like beforehand about exactly like the kind of structure and the vibe we were gonna go with and everything. And he was like, he had been telling me he wants to kind of pop off a little bit and just have some fun with it. And so I was a little reserved. I was like, I don't know, man. Like, because I'm always the one that's like trying to serve the song the best way.
You're like, what do you mean pop off?
Should have fucking known. But dude, and there's such a funny moment that we quote all the time in the studio. He tracked this one like crazy part, and then he gets done. He nails it, and he gets done, and he was like, "How was that?" And I'm
Yeah.
like in the room. I go, it was fine. And he goes, was it fine or was it sick? I was with Blake Goodwin. We just cracked up at that. But
Sick
yeah,
for sure.
and so yeah, I just remember like having those thoughts and kind of like even for me, like I've been doing it so long, and even at that point I had been doing music for a long time, but there's still that part of me that wanted to like try and hold Jared back.
I know.
And now when I listen to the song and when I see him screaming and like doing that shit live, I'm like, that's fucking fire. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it takes a lot.
Crazy.
It takes a lot.
Yeah.
We had to we made our record ourselves, and we had a lot of, leave the room, cool down, calm your tempers. You're not right about everything.
We had moments like that in LA too.
Sure.
There was one time our producer was like, can we have the room please? Because
That's
it was
right.
just like one person tracking something.
It's like, I think you need it though, right? You need a little tension. If everyone's it's
yes.
the best, it's not the best. I don't think that is you doing your best.
I think it could be, but it's just like I don't know. You have to, I think the best way to approach writing music, in my opinion, these days is like, if you have like sort of a vision for it, just let it happen. And so like for me, like with my band, there's ever a moment where we feel like we should really choose this idea or we shouldn't choose this idea or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, just try them, think about them, entertain each kind of thing.
Yes.
And whatever feels the best in the moment, go with that. And you can change it later. If it doesn't feel right later, then just change it later. But I think...
How many versions of songs have you made where the live version is not that... Like, there's definitely a part that's, like, different now. And you wish you had done that version.
Well, usually... I've heard you talk about this before. We keep stuff pretty true to the album, but we'll definitely amp it up live. Or, Jared definitely, like, he'll throw in extra fills and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's got the talent for that.
We try to make it just more interesting.
I hear, like, 1,000 fills in my head and go, you're not that good.
Stop it.
Just don't.
No, I totally do. So
we're having to relearn a bunch of old shit right now, and I'm just like, oh yeah. And Justin's like, no, you did this, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and you guys just announced a comeback show, right?
Well, the album release show.
How long is it? Wait. Okay, how long? When's the last time you guys played?
It's been a year.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it had been a little bit.
It's been close to a year. It's been a while, but we did Shimfo for a while. We just wanted to have some fun because we're all the same people. It's just a band. It's a southern metal band that we do on the side.
Shimfo. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then kind of just wanted to dick off and have some fun because we didn't know what to do with the record. So it's like we're playing all these shows, but it kind of doesn't mean a lot because we don't have anything for the show or nothing new that we can put out. So it's one of those things where we're kind of stalemated for a little bit, and then finally we were like, listen, we got to do this, and we just picked a day. And then came up, like, we've had the idea of what we wanted for years. I've had this idea in my mind for a long time, but it's like, you have to have more than just the idea, right? You have to have the connections and the ability and all this stuff. You have to have the room, and the people have to be like, yeah, that's what we want to do too.
Yeah. And
you're trying to convince 20 people on this wild ass idea because it's definitely different. It's not like a normal show. So it's like, get it all together.
Can you talk about it, or are you trying to?
Well, I can talk about some of it for sure. Like
I'm just
Corden
curious.
Jocks is there.
Who?
Corden Jocks. He's
Okay.
a local lo-fi DJ, and he was one of the first episodes on Crash Cats. I found him on Instagram, and I was like, this fucking rules, dude. And then I found out he was from Little Rock. I was like, what the fuck? So that's been in my mind the whole time. I want to do something with him, but how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you make that different? And so what the flyer reads as Mysore, Corden Jocks, when you buy the concert ticket, you get the vinyl record pre-sale.
Yeah, I saw that. That's
comes with
insane, dude. That's crazy.
$25, brother. You get a
crazy
fucking record
value.
and a show. Like, crazy value, right? But the show is actually My Answer War and Corden Jocks. It's not.
Oh, it's like a co-headline type of.
It's
type
like
of thing.
it's all one thing.
Oh, okay.
It's an event. It's an event. It's not a concert. It's an event. So the way we have it worked out, I mean, on April 8th, because the 7th there's another show that I have to work. On April 8th, I'm turning my phone off. I'm taking off work.
Dude.
I'm not doing shit. Like, it's one of those.
That's the
like,
way to do it.
I'm gonna be so, like, thank God.
I'm the exact same way. When we book when we try to put on like a big hometown show here or something, the next day I'm just in bed
Oh, dude,
the
we don't.
entire day.
We're getting to the age now where we won't even practice that week if we had a show.
Dude, oh my God. So we have a show. Also, I wanted to promote this on here. So I'll
Oh,
go
that's
ahead and
right.
say
You
this.
have a show too.
Census is playing a show with Diet Sweets, Ginger Giant,
Mhm.
Diet Sweets, Ginger Giant, and Prop Hunter. I saw their sticker. Just that's what made me think of it. On March 2nd at Vino's, and we're gonna be headlining that show. We have a 45-minute set, but yeah,
Damn.
I'm very excited for that. It's gonna be fun. So if you're watching, please come out.
I'll be there, but I'll be working. But I would have been there anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
What are you working doing?
Vino's.
What do you do there?
Back room. Just, move tables.
Oh, okay.
Band need help with something, do that.
I kind of wondered the last time I saw you there if you were working, because you seemed like you were.
I was.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
been-
but
it's- yeah.
I didn't know if you had
To
a
be
position.
fair, Corey has been
Working at
there
Vino's
the
for,
past-
yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
other thing
yeah.
too. It's
Now
like
he's just finally being paid to be
Well,
there.
Trey was like, dude, you're here all the time.
it's like
Do you want to get paid to do it?
it's like you talk to Spencer. What's your affiliation with Vino's? He's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We got, we're playing, it's going to be a 2-hour show, but it's a lot of back and forth, so it's not going to seem like that. It's like a play more or less.
That's
But
super
we're playing
cool. Yeah.
we're playing the record from start to finish. And there's a lot of special shit in between too that I'm not going to bring up cuz I'm keeping that
That
to
sounds
myself.
Really cool.
It's going to be nothing like you've ever seen in that room production-wise. It's going to be in fucking sane. I've messaged all the people. This is my last ask. I'm never doing this again. I'm not doing it again. I don't have. The next time something like this happens for me is if because one of my bands pops off and someone else is handling it.
Yeah.
You know?
I totally feel
This is like I have had this fucking dude. You know how it is. You're creative. You have this idea, but there's a time and a place for the idea to like blossom and be its own thing. And this is that moment. This is a very broad idea.
Everything's converging right now.
And if it works, dude, the amount of fucking I'll be driving down the road for like I drive like an hour. I've been working out in Hot Springs, so it's like an hour and a half where I've been going every day, same way, and I'll just be thinking about it the whole time, like got to do this and plan it like this, and maybe if we put this here and put that there, it's like I need this. I'm to the point where I'm happy that it's happening. I wish it was over.
Yeah, no, I feel
Yeah.
that so hard. Yeah. That's so funny. When I'm curious, did you guys, was it like a recent feeling or something that where you felt like everything was converging and you picked this date, or was it like you picked it a while ago?
No, the date was pretty recent actually. It was in January.
That's what I was wondering.
I got to a point personally where if it didn't come out, I was just gonna kind of probably try to just not do it anymore.
That's sort of what I was gonna say. Is not necessarily that, but
Right.
Jathan, something I've picked up from him, is like with things like this, where you have it's this really important thing to you, and you really want it done. Like your soul needs it to be done and get it into the world and stuff. And like if you pick a day, like in a few months or whatever, and you're like, that's when we're gonna do it. Then that's it. Like that's when it is. You know when it is. You have all that time until then to prepare. And so that's how we do stuff in Census all the time. And sometimes it like pisses me off or stresses me out. But he's like, this is the day.
We never did it without it, right?
Yeah.
It would have just
exactly.
Next year.
Yeah.
We've been sitting on this record for 2.5 years. That's too long. Finished. Not recording it and stuff. So if you want to take that into that's like we've had just these files, and Justin got to a point where we all have our moments, but he got to a point where he just started sending it to people. He's just like, I have to let people hear this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it. I wasn't even mad. I was like, I get it, dude. I really do. I just want to play it in front of people. I'm a live guy. I've been very vocal about I don't like the internet, and I just want to do it in the room because that's where I can prove to you that it's valuable. Like let me show you how fucking cool this is. This crazy ass idea we have, and then it'll just and I'm stoked that we kind of get to bend the rules a little bit, and we're doing some shit that
just interesting stuff.
Interesting stuff, and
I'll try to come out for that for sure.
That makes me very happy.
Sounds super interesting.
I think it'll be one of those things where if you don't, I hate everybody's like, well, if you miss that one, I think this will be one of those because this is never gonna happen again. Not from us. If other people want to steal it, by all means.
Right.
But I ain't doing it again. It's too much work to make it a fucking. I mean, how do you have a fucking show in a venue that has nothing but bands playing it better or bigger? How do you do all the time?
Where's it at?
Vino's.
Okay, cool.
It's gonna be insane, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm stoked. Dude.
there's no sense in what we got going on in that room. There's no fucking point in it.
That's
it's
literally
dumb as shit.
should be their fucking slogan, dude. There's no reason for what's going on in here.
The name of the show is "This Makes No Fucking Sense."
I've definitely. I feel like I came back around on Vino's. Not like I was ever out of it, and I always loved going to shows there.
It's an ebb and flow.
Yeah, but like, especially after we played our tour kickoff show from back in November was at Vino's, and I think it was, I can't even remember the last time we played there actually. Census has played at Vino's, but in like 2016, like way back in the day.
The dead years, yeah.
And then, but we played last year, and it was so much fun. I was like, the energy was just so good. And I think it's that room though. It's something about that room.
It's shining. Like last week there was 3 shows. All 3 shows were, 2 of which were fucking phenomenal. Like, wow, weekday shows with this many fucking people in the room. That's unheard of in the modern times. Like, in the 90s, okay, cool. None of us had Netflix in the 90s. Of course we were at Finos. And shit was also only $3 fucking,
Yeah.
Like, well, who found that flyer? Jathan posted that flyer. He's like, we were really out here doing 7-man bills for $5 fucking. Did you see that? Yeah, dude. Like, come on.
About that. Dude, those were the days. That's so crazy.
You know what's wild is that was like, I remember having conversations when bands started charging like $15 for a t-shirt, and you were like, what the fuck? Dude, that's shitty,
Someone's
man. Like,
got a
what are
big
you
head,
doing? Yeah. And now, we wrestled, dude, the price of our show, and it comes with a fucking vinyl record if you pre-order it. We wrestled with that and then I'm over here like, wait a minute. Any Ticketmaster show is going to be $60 fucking or more for the nosebleeds. If you're on the floor, you're paying hundreds of dollars. And I don't care what anyone says. Your band, my band, Terminal Nation, like all the fucking bands that you can point to in this music scene, they are just as fucking good as those bands on the bigger stage. They just didn't have the lucky break. Yeah. So what's the value? Where's the value? Is it really in the music or is it in the production? How do you go from $300 to bitching about 10?
Right. Yeah.
Where is the, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Where is that barrier? I'm willing to pay $300 for this concert seat, but not $10 to go see my friend's band play.
I was just about to say, Census released like a Valentine's Day merch drop or whatever the other day, and I saw somebody commented on our tweet announcing it, and they were like, a sweatshirt for $40, and they were like, but they were stoked about it. They were like that's awesome. They were so happy, and I was just like, it's weird. Like what you were saying just a second ago, I was like, that's weird to think about, but I'm like, yeah. What a good deal, right?
It's sad that that's a good deal, but I'm glad we could facilitate it though. Like,
no, yeah, it's. I think it's definitely.
Like, and they have the most. The people with the least give you the better deal. The people with they're selling 5,000 and things, and they're paying way less than you did for those. Like their overall cost, you know how cost net, whatever gross. Dude, they're getting them for dollars, and you're paying $28.50, and you're selling them for $4. You're only making $10 on the fucking thing, and they're making probably most of it back. The whole thing's a fucking. God damn it, Kurt! I'm on my shit.
There was Ben might have seen this, but there was a whole like viral thing on Twitter with counterparts. You remember that?
I don't think
they
so.
They did a Champion hoodie that was embroidered, but we know Champion is more expensive.
Champion embroidered hoodie, huh?
But they did, yeah. So they did a Champion embroidered hoodie. Obviously, you've made them, so you know how much they cost.
Mm-hmm.
It was $60, right? That's pretty fair for an embroidered Champion hoodie. And the embroidery was like all the way across the front, like
yeah.
And people on Twitter just gave them a bunch of shit about it.
Dude, I paid.
He was like, you realize we're making like $3 off this thing,
yeah,
right?
To sell, especially a Champion one to sell for that much is like they're probably making $5 on that.
Literally, I mean, this independent trading company hoodie, I got half off for $30. That was half off.
I don't even remember how much we get, but they're pretty expensive. They're like $40 or $50.
Well, I mean, I think a printed hoodie when you think about it, I remember bands would do hockey jerseys and they're like $150.
That's the other one that's really expensive.
So it's like, well, of course it is. It's this wild, crazy, dense material, but they're also a massive touring act that is going to just get every dime out of everything they can.
I just thought about this. I just had this realization or whatever. But I remember when we played with Sleep Token. When was that? Yes, September 2022. We played with Sleep Token, and they had hoodies for sale for $70.
Holy fuck!
And this was before they blew up. Like they only had a few. They weren't that big like they are now.
Like right now, yeah.
And I remember us all just thinking,
all thanks to Kurt's
wow,
trolling.
That's crazy. And they probably made like a ton in merch that night. But I was just thinking, like, oh my god, I wonder
$70
if they're just selling like a fuck ton more, or if they've upped the price even more.
Does that
they could do that?
See, this is how my brain works. See, like. I like having you and Jathan on because I can bounce ideas like this off of you. Is it bad that I think that it's fucked up that where is I don't know, man. The disconnect is something I'm fascinated with right now. Why is $70 cool and then for somebody else it's not cool? I don't understand because some of the best shows I've ever seen in my life were from bands no one will ever fucking see.
Yeah, I think,
you know what I'm saying? Like
I think it's more like I think people are more like the audience and the
fans. Is
fans.
The perception of it worth more than the actual value?
I think they're more understanding these days anyway, especially younger people are more understanding
that
the artist has to make money, and that's one of the big ways that they do.
That I agree with you 100%.
I think people are more willing to buy merch. It's just a matter of like if Census was if we at our Vino show if our hoodies were like $80 or something, we wouldn't sell any of them. It's like I think I don't know. It's just
is it the class of people maybe? Because like definitely the people going to the tentpole shows are more of a working class, like the average American working class, not the who's what's it's in the derelicts.
I think we actually sell like our live merch. I'm pretty sure we sell for a little bit cheaper than online too.
Always. I think that's just the way it goes, right? Online's always more, I feel like.
Some of ours, we keep like the same profit margin. It just depends. I also like just talking about this and giving you advice or whatever. I always just look at what other people are doing too.
I do that sometimes, but then, I'm to the age now where I'm not finding a lot of new music. So the shit I listen to is from older bands that are established. So their merch is pretty aptly priced. Like it's pretty high.
True.
Even I'm like, I love this band, but I don't know if I can pay $40 for a t-shirt.
Yeah. I'll often look at I'll try to find a band that I think represents where Census is at. So like similar monthly listeners,
that I don't do.
Similar type of touring size venues that they're doing, and then I'll see like what they're.
So you're looking at like real numbers.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be like, well, if they're getting away with it, then I should be able to, or I can do a little more or a little less, whatever,
See, like getting away with it, it feels criminal, right? Like they're doing it, so maybe we could too. What's the market value? Who the fuck says? Who said?
Nobody said. That's the other thing.
Like a 7-band bill in our lifetime cost $5. That same bill now, just a few nights ago, was $20. Like,
that's so funny. Yeah,
we made it to a point where I don't know. I remember hearing even bands that I respected because I used to work at the Village. So you're in those conversations all the time because these people have fucking literally nothing to do. You know how tour is. Show up, sit down, do nothing, play the show for 30 minutes, and then drive for 9 hours. And they would be like, man, I can't believe so-and-so is charging this much for a t-shirt now. Can you believe that? And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe. There's a famous fucking footage of Kurt Cobain. And he's like, how much is a ticket to your concert? And he says the price, and he goes, well, some people are charging, and it's this wild number for the time. He goes, who's charging that?
Yeah.
What?
Scalpers.
And he's like looking around and he's like, it's Madonna. And they're like, Madonna, I think it's like $70, which could you imagine?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he's like, I think they charge like 20 or something. Mm-hmm. But to him, and he's not Kurt Cobain, some dude he's fucking Kurt Cobain at this point. And he's like, that's insane. And I'm the biggest musician on the planet right now. $20 is good.
Yeah. I don't know. It's totally like subjective and it's different for everyone. So I feel like I'm at least just thankful that I feel like people at least they're not like, I don't think our fans, we sell shirts for like $30 or something. At
Right.
a show. I don't think people are going to really complain about that.
I think that's
or
pretty normal,
anything.
man.
Yeah. Especially today. Yeah. So, I mean, I think just it is like a battle to try and figure that shit out and to not. I think the best mindset to have is just to know in your heart and in your soul that you're not like getting away with it or ripping people off or whatever. It's like,
I think it's good that you have a little humility about it. You're like, is this too
that's
much?
good, and that's
good.
that means you're looking out for the fans and stuff
Right.
too. So yeah,
Absolutely.
that's good perspective.
Oh, dude, we talked for 2 weeks about just the ticket price.
Yeah.
Like,
How much are you selling tickets for?
They're $25.
Oh right, but you get the
album,
and...
but the day of, and you don't get the album day of. It's the same price. But I'm thinking, you pay a lot more to get what we're about to do.
Yeah, than like a typical thing.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
This is more than just that, and we're hiring people. This isn't just a normal show. So like, the more I can explain that to people, and they go, "Oh, I see." Like the perceived value is less because we're not some giant band, but at the same time, we're not doing what every band's doing for this one particular moment. I'm not saying we're edgy and fucking cool and we're breaking the mold, but for this one night, we're doing something that hasn't been done yet.
Yeah, exactly. No, that is breaking the mold.
And it might fuck up. Who knows? So far, so good. I will say, tickets are doing great.
And 25 is like not even for a normal show. That's not that much.
I don't think it's
that's
that
pretty
unreasonable.
normal.
I think it is because they see two names.
Yeah,
and they
that
equate
makes sense.
that.
I get that.
I think they see two names and they equate that because that's how I would see it at first until someone explained like two bands, $25. Who is it? Why is it? Well, this is who. This is why. The why is, in my opinion, is bigger because
Album of the year. Shut up.
What is it?
Rock album of the year. Paramore. This is why.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It got album of the year?
It got rock album of the year, I believe. Something like that.
Yeah, dude.
And it was like first female fronted rock album ever or something at the Grammys. Something like
to
that.
win?
Yeah.
To win them. Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Man. Well, that's good to know. I didn't know they won. Hell yeah, good for them.
I know, dude. Music is fucking crazy these days.
they fucking break up and finally get the Grammy, huh?
What was I about to say?
They didn't break up, but maybe. Who knows?
Megan Thee Stallion just did a song. Do you remember who with Kurt? With somebody?
Spirit Box.
With Spirit Box.
Are you serious?
A spit take. Yeah, it's actually it's really sick.
Well, you know me, man. I do not have my finger on the pulse of the modern day.
Dude,
and I have a podcast, and I should. But that's why I like bringing people in and asking them, like younger people, like, what is it? Because I don't see it. I don't see it. But I was raised, the value was in the live show, and it's never going to leave me. I spent my whole youth trying. Then the game changed, and I don't like the new game. I don't. And I just learned something yesterday that really made me mad. Sorry, Ben. I'm taking over your podcast.
No, you're
I'm
good.
sorry.
Keep going. I'm enjoying it.
It's like, oh, what do you? Okay, here. Let's go here first, and I can segue into that. Kurt just told me about the TikTok stuff with the music licensing rights. Are you aware of this?
What is it?
The UMG, where they.
Oh, someone was just a client I have that I just did a song for. Was showing me a promo they made where they talk about it, and I was asking him about it. I was like, "What are you even talking about?"
So, like, if you use DistroKid and they distribute through UMG, your music cannot be on TikTok. Yeah. It all got taken down.
So a lot got taken off. Yeah.
So you have to go find out your distributor if they're using them to publish, and then change to one that doesn't, just so your songs can be on TikTok. If you're trying to play the social media game, like if that's your game plan for your band. Did you look into that for y'all, or you? Because
I know that our stuff is still on there because I have it like linked on it's on my profile. So if you go to my TikTok, our music's on there. So I think all of our stuff is okay, but I did hear about that, and I know that a lot of music got taken off.
Do you know what server you use?
We use DistroKid.
You do use DistroKid?
But if it's like a UMG problem, I would also. I'm not exactly sure. I know I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it or anything. But I'm sure it's something that DistroKid would like. I think if they haven't already, they're going to find their way around that pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of people are using these days. They probably have like...
Everybody I talk to.
They got millions
It's rare you hear somebody say like TuneCore or something.
I mean, it's...
Like another
It's just such a good deal.
What is it, $20 a year?
$20
a year.
How
the fuck can you beat that?
Unlimited uploads.
I remember the first time I read that, I was like, that can't be right. And I go to a different part of the webpage to see if it's the same there. Like, what the fuck?
I remember when I first made my account, I was at IHOP with Dalton Kennerly. He was in our band at the time.
Nice.
We're on a laptop using their Wi-Fi, making our DistroKid account. I don't know why we were there. Josh was with us.
Hungry, dude.
Yeah, it's like 2 a.m. We're making our DistroKid account, and they had, at the time, they probably don't anymore, but you know, like on their website launch page or whatever, it has like quotes from people talking, like reviews for DistroKid. One of them was like, "It's the best." I don't remember how it was worded. "It's the best distributor for the independent artist in the modern world." And then the dash was like, founder of TuneCore or something like that. It's like that person was saying, "This is the way to go.
This is it."
And I remember reading that to Dalton. He was like, "Hey, can't beat that."
That's like Microsoft CEO being like, "I own a MacBook."
Yeah. You guys tried Macs? They're kind of
yeah. Hey, thanks for buying our shit, but I'm rich. No, but I was listening to this podcast, and that's all I do. So I get really interested, and I'm clearly very adamant about how musicians can succeed, dude. I don't want nothing but for everybody to have.
It's hard as fuck,
dude. But it's hard as fuck for y'all because that's the whole world y'all know is that.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
and it's like y'all are roped into something that I watched get created, and I'm going, it's all fake. It's a fucking scam, the whole thing. And then this record guy gets on this podcast, and he's like, 80-something% of all the fucking top songs ever on Spotify were all bought and paid for. Because the labels, say you're getting 800,000 streams a day, right? And they drop $12 million into that song just to get it up to $2 million.
Yeah,
and then the algorithm takes it, and now you're getting 20 million a day. They spend all that money to make, which I get it. That's business, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're just using the stuff as is. But we don't have that. We don't even have access to the means to do that because they won't even give it to fucking the plebes. Hell, there's talks now where they're going to demonetize low-performing accounts. So, what does that mean? Are y'all underperforming? What's the number? Have they said that publicly?
I haven't heard anything about that. We've kind of plateaued like the last, I don't even know, like year and a half, 2 years. We've been around 50,000 monthly.
That's insane to me. We have 64.
64.
But we don't play the game either.
Exactly.
You know?
I think that's what it is. Because I, like, empathize, I guess is the best way to say it with a lot of what you're saying. But it's just like, because I know a lot of it's bullshit. A lot of it is just algorithms and numbers and playing the game. That's literally what it is.
I just hate seeing y'all do all this work and then you're like, I get this amount of money. And I'm like, we used to make that at a show.
Mm-hmm.
You just did a show and everyone showed up and they would buy everything and you'd be, it was great.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I think, like, just knowing that, like, the way things is, it's kind of scammy, it's kind of fake or whatever, it's kind of, like, artificial. Right. Just knowing that, I think, makes, like, in Census's case, or in my case,
yeah.
It makes it to where we're able to make decisions kind of based on that. Yeah, like, we can work smarter, not harder, because we know... we know what we would have to do if we were being super hacky, so we can dial it back and still be hacky, and people don't know we're being hacky.
I got it.
That's like the sauce.
See, that's brilliant because I don't have that in my body. I will film something.
It's a lot of work.
We'll do. I don't know how many drafts I've been like. Never mind. This is so stupid. I'll do something because it's like, oh well, we need to be on there. We got to do it, and then I'll have it, and I'll be like, you know what? No one's gonna like this. Delete. And I'll just delete all that work, and then I just don't care. I'm just like,
just post it.
But see, that's
It takes like, just as much time to post it as it does to delete it.
I know, but God, it's so cringe. Isn't the Kurt's right. Y'all are right. I don't disagree that y'all are right. I'm willing to concede and admit that, but in my mind, it's wrong because originally you could just, I mean, dude, you could make a decent, meager living even being just a bar band.
Yeah,
you know, back then. And I just see like, God, you don't make shit. You don't make shit from being a musician. Why?
You have to be okay, I'll say this also. Census just became profitable this month.
So all that work, right.
We've been a band for like 10 years now, I think. We formed Census in 2014. But so every song we've put out since 2020 was under our label. And they fronted us the money to do all of that production and costs. And they've also given us money for, like, the trip to L.A. They've extended our budget on different things. But the way our deal is set up, we've never made any money on those songs until this month. We had a phone call with our label, and they told us that we recouped. So we just got a $1,200 check, which $1,200 in fucking
in a band
4
account, that's
years.
pretty great,
It's
dude.
Like,
Yeah.
you guys are getting paid.
That's 0.3 cents a day.
Yeah, but no, so from now on out, and that's so good for us to hear. It's like so encouraging because
That means the music, the licensing is actually making money now.
well, the songs are performing well enough. That's what happened. We recouped all of the cost.
Debt, right.
So all the money they've gave us, which if I estimated correctly, it's between like $15,000 to $20,000.
Sure.
So
it's like a bank loan.
Yeah,
Labels are just bank loans for poor creative
Exactly.
people. Yes.
So the songs performed well enough that all that money's been paid back now. So now we get 50% of the streams,
Okay.
which it's half, but it's like half compared to $0 for the last 4 years.
That's true.
Like I'm so stoked on it. But
So you're making it's like just sitting down makes money now. So like even like
Yeah.
the content you're creating and all that actually has a goal,
and we're
a monetary
also,
goal anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're also, it's when I say to be smart, it's like duh, be smart, but it's like there's stuff even just right now that we're starting to plan and try to figure out because like you said, I agree
Right.
with you on a lot of that stuff. It's really hard to make money. So like we're about to launch a Patreon that we're
There you
going to
go.
start doing.
That's
you guys
smart.
do Patreon for Crashcast
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we're about to try and start
it
doing
bought
that.
this fucking liquor, dude. It pays for
Yeah.
it pays for enough to like
Help pay for the wall.
to help pay for the wall. Oh, it did pay for the wall. Some of the table stuff. It bought well, the show bought the camera and the microphone for Kurt that we have still yet to set up because we are inefficient.
Inefficient.
We have look, dude. This
No,
has
that's
been here,
sick, though.
This has been here for a month.
Bro, okay, so I'm texting Kurt.
But we
I'm
don't
like,
know how to do it.
Oh my goodness.
Like me and him don't know.
I could probably help y'all figure that out. We can maybe talk about that. But yeah, I'm texting Kurt on the way here yesterday or something. I'm like, hey, you ever get a mic set up? Because he's always he's the fucking Andy of the show.
Yes.
And
You
I'm
hear
like,
him in the background like, woo, woo,
yeah. I'm like, did you get a mic yet? He's like, well, we've got one. It's just not patched in.
It's right there. It's set up. Like
It's
I've
right there.
unboxed it, everything.
Swivel and everything. Oh shit.
We're very bad at. So we were in
must-
here earlier, and I was like, after that show, I have one goal for Lame Johnny. We're gonna do a live EP, like not at a venue, like in a studio. We're just gonna
cool, yeah.
do it to YouTube, and that's it. It doesn't go anywhere else. That's the only place you'll find it.
Mhm.
And then I want to do my other band, Crows. I want us to record, and then this. So like, I was like, man, maybe we just treat it like a band because it's always me and Kurt doing stuff.
Yes.
Maybe
Exactly.
we
Uh-huh.
instead of just today, like today is film day always, but maybe we add business day, where we sit down and we chop up the videos and make content together. You know, average band practice what 3 to 5 hours usually. You know, give or take.
Mhm.
Unless you're just, hey, I gotta go, but I want to run the set, whatever. But do that, but with the pod. What's the harm in like spending 3 hours, cut a clip, even if it's just one clip? It's more
Yeah.
than the clips we have now.
Yep.
With 11 total views
No,
on YouTube,
yeah.
like it's not good. You know?
I agree with that perspective though.
I don't, and then but do you pay by the month? Because like we make a little bit of money. Do I just add to that and then we get one of those AI things? Have you seen this shit?
What?
You can just dump your entire podcast into this generator, and it just goes. Here you go. Here's everything. Here's your clips. Here's your vertical format. It's all centered for you.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's got all the text already built into it. Here's the
Yeah, it does the
percentage
captions,
of
yeah.
its virality. What
Percentage
the
of
fuck?
variety.
Yes. This has 10% chance to go. It
The
pops,
AI's like, if I have it a few notes, it would just be.
maybe you shouldn't swear as much. YouTube doesn't really like that. But
That's funny.
but for 90, I think it's $100 a month. So if you really want to push your platform, because you have to spend money to make money. We all know that. That's just normal shit. But in music, you spend and lose money. It's like
You spend
tickets.
whose
You
money?
spend and lose. You spend your own money and then you lose money.
Oh,
like
and
you
lose
never
money.
recoup.
Right,
It's
yeah,
always
yeah.
like, well, we didn't make it all back. Like this record, we're to the point where we're like, we're not going to make it all back. Right? We spent a fortune. We spent thousands of dollars. But it's the best record I've ever fucking made. I've bought 2, and I'm going to spray paint one of them gold because you don't get to tell me that my album's not gold.
Dude, that's
In
awesome.
my mind, it is, and I'm going to put that shit in my office and be like, that's the one.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's not over. But it's like,
No, yeah,
I don't know
get
that.
it. Yeah.
But this is one of those things where it's a moment thing, you know, like the album
like a
itself
milestone.
is a milestone. So that to me is like, I've only got like one more goal in my, like, I did it all. I've played with every band I ever wanted
Oh my
to.
goodness, yeah.
I got lucky. I got to play with all the bands I love. I've shared stages with all the coolest shit. Now it's just a number game. I just need to get on a fest and open, and I can just write that off and be like, I'm done.
That's your last. Yeah. That's funny. I just had a phone call the other day with his name's Alex Ryan, and he's the singer for a band called First and Forever. And they're pretty big now. I think they have like, I'm not sure where they're at now. They have hundreds of thousands of monthly.
That's a lot.
And so, but they used to be on the same label that we were, Adventure Cat, and they came to see us when we played on the Stand Atlantic tour, so we're kind of friends and stuff.
Hell yeah.
And I was talking to him, and they blew up like kind of recently over the last year or something. So they got like crazy streams, and they're not on the label anymore, and they've already recouped and everything. So he was telling me, I wish I could remember the number now. I think he said they made like $30,000 or $40,000 in streams last year, and he was he was telling me, I was just talking to him, and he's like, it's because I was asking him for advice and stuff, and
Sure.
I learned that me and him are in quite different places in life.
Yeah.
He's a little bit older than me. That's one thing, but also like they're just well established. They're all a little bit older, and he's like, the most we ever wanted to do was get our music on Spotify. That's not even get streams, just get our music on Spotify. And he's like, so like, as far as I'm concerned, like we've done a couple tours. We've already done everything that I ever dreamed. Like we've surpassed anything I ever dreamed we would do. So it's really, I don't know. That's just another one of those like examples where it's so different for everyone.
Yeah, and everyone, like I was listening to Wes Borland. He's one of my favorites, and even he thought his band would never do anything. He's one of the biggest rock bands of all time. But he was like, man, we were just happy to like get to play this iconic venue. Like when you're young, you're like, God, if I could just, you know, man,
it's
if we
a
could
venue
play
in Georgia.
there,
I've been waiting to play
exactly,
forever.
Exactly. When I was young, it was the Chain Reaction and CBGB, you know?
Dude, yeah, I've always wanted to play Rocket Town too. You know Rocket Town?
Oh, yeah, been there a couple times. Yeah, Rocket Town.
I've skated the skate park, never been to a show.
Yeah. Good shows. Great shows. Saw a handful of incredible shows there. Solid memories. That, you know, and you say like 40,000, and then I go back to, well, that's great. That's a large number if it was just me.
I know, right? And then then
break
it's like
that up to 6
40,000. They had the same
and a
deal as
band.
us. The label got half of that, so they get 20,000.
20.
They got 4 or 5 people in their band.
Exactly. Would you all make
People-
$2,000 for the year? You know,
For the year, yeah.
But that's what they do, Ben. They give you this round number, and you go, wow, that's a big ass number. But then you start going, but this and that and this and that and this and that, and and they're not, and they're the least paying also, but they have somehow hoodwinked everyone into going, this number is big, so that's cool, and that's all I really need. Where the other places, they don't even share numbers, right?
Well, what are you referring to right now?
Like your play counts and subscriber base, like they all, it's all a numbers game, like, and they've, you know, for whatever reason, it's not, I don't necessarily think that it's good to be obsessed with a count.
Right.
It's like watching your weight drop and fluctuate, you know, it's going to do more harm than good. It's like on Instagram now, you can turn it off.
Yeah.
You know?
And you can like filter out comments, shit, you know.
Yeah, it's like, maybe there is something to that where a kid thinks that that's what's good, and they're going to be trying to get that their whole life when they don't have, like, I don't know. Maybe it's just my age that I think about. It's almost a little bit corrupt to make someone believe that the number is better than their life, because you have to make a living. That number's high, but they made $1,000.
Yeah, and
you know, when you boil it all
so
down,
true, dude. That's so. I have hundreds of thousands of TikTok followers. My views are shit right now.
It's like, well, it's like, you know, but that's the whole thing. You go up, and then it immediately take it away from you, and that's the part they don't show you. That you'll never see that. It's always just another face. Like, who was the guy that just got in trouble? There was one. He used to do like he'd read a tweet and be like, ha ha ha, that's it.
Oh yeah.
That's it. That's his whole shtick.
That's a whole debate right now I've been seeing too, with
where it's like stolen
there's so many reaction channels, you know,
Right.
things like that now. There's a lot of issues people are running into, like someone I know that is in hot water with this all the time. There's a streamer called Ninja, and
I know Ninja.
he gets paid millions.
He's very large. I know
yes,
who that is.
millions
Yeah.
of dollars, and often he just watches videos. He has a gag where he's like, "All right, guys, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Mr. Chair's gonna take over the mic for a little while." Adding no value to the video. So then it's like the person that took the time to make the video, they're not getting paid or whatever, but they're getting millions of views on his stream or whatever. So
And
it's
somehow
like,
that's the good part.
yeah, and
Well, a
it's
million people
it's
saw
like-
it. It's like, I'll pay you an experience.
so it's good because it's like, oh, and that's how they'll spin it too. Is
Right.
he's like, you know, well, I'm giving your video all this exposure, but they don't know.
Exposure. That's the
Yeah.
word. I'll pay you an exposture.
Yeah.
Kurt gets that a lot, I'm sure.
Kurt's been paid in exposure, I'm sure.
Bunch. Yeah.
He's got to
Well,
be rich in exposure at this point.
I mean, look at me.
Living the life,
This
baby.
guy's dripping in exposure right
He's
now.
in his underwear producing a podcast in his
I got
basement.
shorts on, okay?
Oh, man.
But it's like, I don't know. Because part of me wants, I'm a very like fair person. I think I see the work y'all put in, and I think, you know what I immediately go to? I hate it for them. Because y'all are willing to play the game. I'm honestly just not at this point. I think I tried, and nothing really works. The only game I like to play is YouTube's game. I think they have the fairest algorithm. If you get in front of someone, which they do put you in front of stuff. I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
my own videos pop up in front of videos that I'm like, damn, that's cool. You know, like a music video for a band I like or something.
Yeah.
Because you use the hashtags and whatnot. So I think it's like the fairest route as far as a business model is concerned. You're not buying your views from YouTube. And when you do, it's very evident.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you got 2.3 million views, but you have 7 comments. That's not how that works.
And all the comments are an iteration of the exact same thing.
Yes. They're very like AI.
Great
bot
job.
farm. Uh-huh.
Hell
Wonderful.
Yeah, fire emojis.
Yeah.
Love this I'm such a fan of this podcast. It's the
Yes.
first episode.
Uh-huh. Episode 247. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, you know, I don't know. I'm being old and curmudgeon-y, but I do.
No, I think it's like I totally feel you.
I wonder where it goes from here, because there's a lot. People are finally opening up and being like, this is what the number is. This is how this looks like. Like top brass people are finally quitting these jobs that are in these mega corporations. They're all fucking failing. Media's failing. You know, old, like old media.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the old shit. Radio is dead.
Radio,
Television as we know it is fucking dead. Oh, you got on Jimmy Kimmel, 800,000 people saw you. Dude, people fart and get 20 million views now.
That's
it's not,
what's
you know,
okay. So
like it's not good for your career.
I
It's
think-
old shit.
going back to something you said a second ago, there's definitely moments for every artist, but I can just speak for myself
Sure.
and for Census
Sure.
and stuff. There's for sure moments where we're like, we work so hard, why are we not bigger? Or like, why did that video not do
I
better?
agree.
Why does that song not do better? But I think it helps me, especially, like, it just confirms it, it validates it having this conversation with you, but it helps me to remember that, yeah, this is the way things are, but guess what? Every other band
going
in the
through the
fucking
same
world
shit,
is
yeah.
going through the
Yeah.
exact same bullshit,
Yeah.
and they rip their hair out, and they're pissed off too. Like,
And it's all
we're all dealing with the same thing.
right about when you were born. It's all that. Like they signed those contracts with those streamers when iTunes and shit came around. And that was the beginning of when they started fighting against Napster and all, you know, blah, 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 for better or worse. I actually, you have to hand it to Lars now. Like, yeah, he was being cunty and shitty, but the man saw what was coming and he was like, this is going to fuck everything. And he was right. Fucking 30 years later, we can all look and go, yeah, he was dead on. He knew what the fuck was about to happen. And everyone is fucked. It wasn't just, it's like all the top people. They're only looking out for their own self. Sometimes that helps you when they look out for their self, right? So that's what he was doing. He wanted to preserve Metallica's shares in stock in their self, but it ended up being something that we all maybe should have thought a little bit longer and harder for, because the record companies got special contracts that we don't get.
Right.
You know, when you sign up in the terms of service and shit, they don't got that shit. They got a dude at Spotify talking to him personally. You know what I'm saying? You think Epic Records is just like, oh no, the terms have changed.
Yeah, no.
Fuck no, dude.
No, I know what you mean.
But you think Census can be like, hey, we don't really agree with this, and they're like, bye.
That's where I think
But
we're probably going to keep. So we actually had a bunch of talks about, and I was a big proponent that we should not stick with the label anymore. Especially now that we recouped, I was like, what are we doing? Like, we're making money now.
Right.
Why are we going to keep giving them money? But now all January, we've been talking, had a lot of talks, and I think we're going to stick with the label because in our
I think sometimes they
situation-
offer you things you don't have.
For sure.
Especially when it comes to management.
That's what it comes down to, I think. And that's where, like, it's hard to have this kind of conversation and speak about it in only one kind of way. You know what I mean?
But I think that's where stand-up comedy and musicians are the same people. Right? Every stand-up comedian wants to be a musician. Every musician wants to be a stand-up comedian. That's just how it is. You think you're funny.
Bro, I'm both. I don't know.
Yeah, of course. I'm great. Me too. I usually end up making people cry. They're like, leave me alone. And I do want to be a stand-up comedian 100%. But their industry is where ours is going, I feel like. Like labels, they are good. But a comedian can just be their self and have a manager.
That is so true, dude. Yeah, I have literally so many friends. I could probably name 10 different friends right now if I tried to that I've watched. Like I found them on TikTok. People I don't know.
Right.
They just live wherever
Internet
they live
friends.
in the world.
Yeah.
People, internet friends. I've watched them go. Like I saw their video on my For You page. I was like, this song's pretty cool. I follow them. They now have hundreds of thousands of monthly. They're going on. There's this one girl I know. She's doing tours with like massive artists. She's one of my favorite artists of all time. Right. She's still relatively small, but yeah, it's crazy. And I don't know. The other thing that like I think about is just how there's, like you said, like you said, you can shit out 20 million views or something.
Yeah. You
these
can
days,
fart and
like,
get 20 million for sure.
So it's like nobody knows. Like I've had moments that people could consider viral. I've also had a lot of stuff that people would consider a flop or whatever. And so you don't ever really know. But the common thing is just that going along with the thought that like we're all in this together or whatever. Yeah. With TikTok, with Reels, with Shorts, with all those
stories, all that shit.
all those types of things. We don't understand the algorithm. There's no point.
True.
There's no point in really trying to.
Unless you're Jimmy.
But it is like an
Mr.
ether.
Beast.
He's
the only guy that gets it, dude.
He's
I saw a video the other day. He posted 9 hours and had 110 million views. I was like, how do the servers even keep up?
Mr. Beast has the algorithm on a leash, and he's got got also.
Well, he sees it change
money.
too.
Yeah,
he did a very eye-opening pod with the Flagrant too. Mm-hmm. It's a bunch of comedians. They sit down in a room and get people. So to his credit, he gave Mr. Beast access to his YouTube account. And live on the podcast, he's sitting there going over the numbers like, holy fuck. But if you need information, that's the fuck. I mean, it's everything. The golden goose is sitting here telling you exactly what to do. And he's talking to a guy who's doing great.
Yes, and to him, that's what's so funny about it. It's hilarious. It's just where everyone's at in their journey because we're all doing the same thing. But it's wherever you're at. And so, like for Mr. Beast, he probably looks at their channel or whatever, and immediately he's like picking out things like, "Oh, you should do this differently," or blah blah blah.
It's exactly what he was
doing. And they're already successful.
Yes,
they're already making
it's
money.
Exactly. And you're like, wow, I would kill for like 7 minutes and be like, Beast, what do you think?
Yeah. I don't know where I saw this, but I remember I watched some clip or something of Mr. Beast, and he was talking about the thumbnail for whatever his last video was. He was like, "Yeah, we invested probably $5,000-$10,000 into that thumbnail.
Each thumbnail.
Yeah, they tried like a few different ones.
3 each. I saw that same thing. $30,000 just in thumbnails.
Like what?
And we had Dustin on, and he was saying like you can tell within seconds that something's gonna do something because he spends all day watching his numbers now because he's living on the internet, which is insane. But that's like your whole thing is like post the thing and then like when I post this, I have to go to work. Like this comes out Tuesday mornings. I'm already by the time you're listening, I'm scraping thin set across tile. Like
I was wondering if you're still doing.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm stuck forever. I'm too myself, and there's no changing that. You put me with people, I'm gonna say fuck you. If you do some shit, I'm gonna be like fuck you. And that's Best Buy's gonna be like, you're fired.
I got accepted to DoorDash recently.
Yeah,
I've been loving that.
You gonna make some money tonight, dog.
I'm the same way. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm pretty introverted, honestly. I love talking to people, and I like being crazy and talking to people and stuff. But it just drains me to have to be in social situations.
Oh yeah, the last time we did this was in your apartment.
Right. Yeah. No, I love that. I was like, you guys are coming to me? Fuck yeah. This is great. No. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't remember where I was going with that, but I
love being like in like by yourself and stuff. You started DoorDash recently.
Yeah, DoorDash. I love DoorDash. It's great. So like, cause I spent basically all last year once I stopped working for my brother, trying to get myself to a point where I was songwriting and producing and making music.
Right.
And making enough money off of that to pay my bills and stuff. And also, I'm really fucking lucky because my rent's super cheap. I don't have that many bills right now. It costs me less than $1,000 per month to just survive.
Nice.
And so
I'm down to like 1,300. So
that's
I'm
good.
doing
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
I'm in a really good spot. But DoorDash is great because like I zip around Hot Springs and I deliver people's food and stuff and.
I like that. Maybe I should.
I can set my own hours, so it's like it's very cool. And Jared and Jathan are doing the same thing. Jathan is big into Instacart right now, where you go like shop for people.
Oh,
it's
where
similar
it's like,
to
I need
DoorDash,
duct
but
tape.
Yeah, he told me the other day, he's like, I went to Target and got some stuff, and then went to like Baskin Robbins, and then he brings that to them, and he gets $50 or whatever. So.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like it's very cool, and especially
Kurt,
like.
do Instacart, buddy.
I told Kurt that he should look into DoorDash.
That's perfect, bro. You get to just go shop around. I didn't know that was a thing.
Because you get to set your hours. Like I know, like today I'm gonna go because it's Super Bowl Sunday. I'm gonna probably make quite a bit of money, so I can work less this week, which means I have more time to work on music and stuff.
Hey.
And so it's just a
you're gonna crush it. We are on
balance,
the eve Super Bowl day today. I don't know who the fuck is even in it. KFC,
I don't even.
KFC.
Not the Lions, I hear.
KFC versus Popeyes.
Versus Popeyes. That's it. It might as well be, in
Taylor
my mind.
Swift versus
versus the world.
versus the world. Oh man,
that one is a bit insane. Apparently Kurt was telling me that fucking Post Malone is the opening act
for the Super Bowl. Wait. Opening act or not the halftime show?
He's doing America the Beautiful.
Oh, I wonder who's doing the halftime show. I don't even know.
Usher?
Again? Why is Taylor Swift not doing the
It'll
halftime
never
show?
be. It'll never be Metallica.
She keeps saying no.
Oh, that's because it's not enough.
I feel like people would probably talk shit if she did. I bet she would do it.
Well, this year, but all the other years,
Oh yeah. That's what I mean, though. I think this year makes the most sense for her to.
Absolutely.
They booked this like years in advance.
Oh, that's true.
That's
they do.
true,
Well, Usher, huh? That'll be interesting.
He's already done
what does
it.
he do?
Though.
Doesn't he do Vegas now? Like Usher's kind of, I feel like, out, right?
That's what.
Is Usher in? Am I wrong? I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I'm sure he's still massive, but I don't know anything about him. I'm surprised.
Later, Corey's like on his couch, like,
I'm surprised he's doing the Super Bowl again. I guess, but
what we can't even get Metallica. It's like the one thing they haven't done. They played on all the continents. They're about to play in outer space.
Backtrack everything anyway.
That's true.
That's probably what Metallica would do.
That might be true. But they're so good, they don't have to. They're fucking great.
They still.
I know what he means. Yeah, he's be like,
I get it.
It's, live is vocals.
In the contract, it says you can't play your instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that's so stupid. Well, it's because there's nothing out there. How would you?
There was one band one time that just like blatantly like didn't even plug in.
I know exactly. It was Coldplay.
Yeah.
Was it
When
Coldplay?
Coldplay played the Super Bowl, their bassist was not plugged in, and I remember clocking that, and then it was all over the internet the next day.
Nirvana did that too on one of their SNLs or something, where they're just like, none of this is real, and they just started destroying shit while the song's playing, and you're just like, damn, man.
All on purpose.
Would you do that? I think at my age, I would 100% be like, yeah, give me the $1 million. I would gladly play it.
No, it's more than $1 million.
I'd do anything for $1 million.
Anything. A punch a baby. What is it?
So
give me the $1 million. I will do what you need.
I remember
$1 million, would you? Yes.
Yeah.
In high school one time.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. In high school one time, I remember this kid was like, I don't remember what we were talking about, but he was like, Ben, would you do this for $100,000? I don't remember what he said, and I was like, bro, I would kill myself for $100,000.
Yeah. There's nothing I wouldn't
You don't
do.
understand.
Right now, like that would make my life free. $100,000. I would live for free for the rest of my life. Because I would just take that, pay off what little bit I owe left on my house, and just invest and just live on that.
That's the way to do it.
God, well, I used to be real stupid. See, I had a job at 14. when stocks were really cheap and I had nothing to spend it on, I could have been a fucking billionaire, literally making almost $400 a week back then. Because I worked in landscaping, very hard, commercial landscaping, so we made a little bit more than normal. It wasn't like minimum wage. But I was 14 years old, dude. Apple stock was like $9. Imagine. What the fuck? Bitcoins. Imagine if you had just been drunk and bought $50 worth of Bitcoin 20 years ago. You're like, I'm a trillionaire, dude. I don't do much. Like, I'm richer than fucking Jeff Bezos.
I know. Is Bitcoin doing well right now, though? I don't know much about cryptocurrency.
When it got up there, it was like, what, $56,000?
I know it was very high, but I know one guy in particular that was a client me and my brother had, and he's like...
He was a crypto millionaire?
He's rich in crypto.
And now he's broke as shit.
Yes, exactly. He's just like, he's rich in exposure.
Dude,
like great.
My life is, if the lights go out, is it valuable? If no, don't put a lot of stock in it for your life. That's how I operate.
I let my brother handle that stuff for me. He's like I hired him last year as my like financial advisor. So he
That's why I'll always
that stuff
be
for me.
poor. Like, poor's a mindset, mostly.
Yeah, I'm not good at money either, and that's why I hired him.
I don't
I was
respect money. I don't have a lot of money. I never have, and I don't
respect money.
I don't. But I want everybody to make a comfortable living, but you can't. You know, that's my bleeding heart. Is like, no one should have to work as hard as everyone does and not be able to fucking live. That's insane.
Still cheap, where the barter system.
Right.
Like, it's too,
yes.
like,
Dude,
it's too insane.
Fuck bartering these for me.
Dude, I raised my prices this year. Hold on. Hey, move that glass. It's in front of the camera. Sorry.
Oh, that
There you
camera.
go.
My bad.
Oh, it's been there the whole time? Oh, well, fuck it.
I didn't even
Kurt didn't
notice
say
this
nothing.
camera.
You're the producer.
Fine.
Anyway. Oh, shit. What were we talking about?
Raise your prices.
I raised my prices because of a video I watched of a plumber. He was like, this is what we charge for this. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck am I doing?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I think it's so good to get intel from people that are doing the same shit as you, because you'll realize stuff like that.
Do you know how much plumbing I do in my job? I do showers for a living. Like, custom showers is my main money.
That's like, yeah.
I do every remodel. I'll do it. $50. And it's like, and then I feel like a fucking plumber's like, oh, we charging like $500 for that. I'm like, that's what I'm getting for the whole job. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And then I raised my prices and no one cared. So which means I'm still too low.
My brother used to say, he would always say he gives himself a raise for his birthday every year.
Damn.
He just raises it like a couple dollars.
This is the first raise I've gotten in like 10 years, dude. Literally. I raised my LVP prices a couple years back, and that's been the last thing I've...
LVP? What's that?
Luxury vinyl plank. The shit you see in everybody's house.
Yeah, that's the
plastic flooring.
Waterproof,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
I mean, if you want it forever, but you have to realize that waterproof doesn't mean everything under it's waterproof too. So insurance is going to tear all that out anyway. Yeah. So you don't necessarily need it.
I'll never forget that. I think I've already told you this, but there was a time this was probably 2 or 3 years ago, but there's a stint where I listened to Crashcast like every day because I would listen to it at work when I was doing something monotonous like painting or something. I'd just throw it on, and I remember there was one day I was doing flooring listening to it, and there's a part where you're talking about doing flooring with somebody. They're like, oh yeah, how's that? You're like, I fucking hate it. It sucks. My knees hurt. They're fucking bruised, and I'm just down. I'm literally putting a piece of flooring down. I'm like, oh, I feel that right now.
Like when you're young, it was a great job when I was young. Freedom. You could take off whenever you wanted. Oh, man, I need next weekend. I've got a show. Cool. Don't care. Show up and work when you're here. Great. And you're with your buddies. You're farting. You're throwing poop on each other. It's amazing. Yep. That actually happened. A buddy of mine, you know how you shit in buckets on a lot of job sites, especially like when it's a new house in between and they don't have a porta potty, because in Arkansas, you're not required to, apparently, in certain areas. He went up in the attic, took a shit in a bucket. Well, the attic had a window, and he thought it'd be hilarious to throw all that poop on to the van down below. What he didn't know is that we were in the garage right in front of the van. And guess what happens to poop when it hits shit from 2 stories up? It splatters.
Dude,
and it splats everywhere.
That's like psychotic.
The guy in front of me gets pissed off. You know what a grout float is. He grabs the grout float.
Oh, yeah.
Scoops the shit in the grout float, opens the van door, which is the van to the guy who just threw the poop, and takes it and smears it across the entire seat and all over the front dash. His own poop. He goes, this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life,
so
dude.
Crazy.
There's shit all in the grill, and he takes it, he gets down, he's throwing up, by the way. It's just the most disgusting thing in the world. And he drives it down the street. There's a Spanish guy doing yard work. He's got the water hose. They just put the grass in, he's watering it in. And he goes, hey, man, do you mind spraying the front of my vehicle off for me? Can I borrow that hose? And he starts spraying it off. The guy gets a whiff. He goes, swear to God, from across the neighborhood, he screams, oh, my God, man, is that shit? And we, up in the house, we're dying. We have poop on us. It's the most disgusting fucking thing in the world.
That's the wildest story.
Dude, woo.
Oh, my God.
Kurt, when I tell you we had some crazy times. Yeah, that's just one of many. Did I ever tell you about the lady who ate the bacteria in front of us? So we were clowns, clearly. We're throwing shit on each other, bro. We have reached maximum insanity.
You're throwing shit on me, my friend.
No, I don't do that. I don't.
No, that's what I'm
It
thinking.
wasn't
I'm
me,
like,
Kurt.
I'm like, bro, we're not friends after that.
I got shitted on. I did not do the shitting.
That's what I'm saying, though. You get shit on me. That's your shit.
Right.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're doing this lady's house, and we're clowning, and she hates that. Some people don't like when people have fun. We call them Karens.
Right.
How do you for a job?
I'm Gen Z.
Right.
I'm well aware of
But we were
Karens.
very good at what we did, and we were just young and crazy, clearly. And so we get done, the job's done, and she calls the boss. You need to come back. They have put chocolate in my grout. These kids, they were in here doing a bunch of nothing, horsing around. She's mad as fuck. He goes, okay, I'm going to come see what you mean. They did not put chocolate in your grout. And I'm thinking, somebody shit in the fucking thin set, right? I'm thinking, wow, y'all put... So she goes, they put chocolate in my grout. It's all the grout lines are black. I'm like, and it's tan grout. This is like the early thousands. This is like 2003.
Mm-hmm.
And she reaches down and she probes her finger across it and she eats it. She licks it. She goes, they
What?
put chocolate.
Oh, because she thought it was chocolate.
Listen, it was on the second story.
But-
one of the plumbing pipes got hit by a rogue nail and was spraying water the whole time. It was black mold that had leached.
Oh my God.
That had leached up through the subfloor and into the fucking tile grout. She licked it, dude.
That's
Have you?
Weird. That just doesn't even make sense. Even if she thinks it's chocolate,
That's how crazy. That's the Karen life.
Chocolate?
Chocolate? She
It's
thought it was
literally
chocolate, dude.
Look.
Anyway, I'll get off those wild ass stories. I have so many.
Yummy. No, that's fucking crazy. Holy shit.
Job sites used to be crazy.
What sold that story for me though was the guy grabbing the grout thing to
Mm-hmm.
to shovel the shit onto the
And it was
seat.
in an old van, so the seats were pleated. So it was like big.
That's what I was picturing.
It
yeah,
was
the
big,
little-
yes. The
like
big
wrist-
long veins of shit. Just
That's great.
yo, dude, that's insane.
Ben, what's your least favorite part about touring?
Oh yeah,
My least favorite part about touring?
good segue, Kurt.
Oh yeah. How long have you been going, Kurt?
Hour and 50.
Nice.
There you go.
We got about 30 more for the out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Least favorite part about touring? Well, I get sick every fucking time I go.
Really?
Yes, I don't. Well, I've only been really on 2 tours. I've been on more than 2, but 2 like real
The
tours.
big ones, yeah. Well, there's runs and then there's tours.
I always get
Yeah.
sick, and then you're in a vehicle close to everyone, so
They all get
everybody.
sick.
How
Sorta
long
gets
was
sick.
that San Atlantic?
Stan
A
Atlantic
month.
tour was almost 2 months. It was like.
Damn.
But
yeah.
didn't y'all get out for like a week because of COVID or something?
Yes, we took I think almost 2 weeks off because of COVID. We got really lucky though because there was when we got COVID, we talked to the touring manager and everything, and he told us we need to take a little bit of time off. But they were going to Stan Atlantic was flying to the UK to do Slam Dunk Fest
Oh, okay.
at the same exact time, and so we were gonna have like 5 off days in the middle of the tour, so
Works
it worked
out.
out literally almost perfect. So we just took some time off. We also renovated our trailer while we had the time off, because at first it was just an enclosed trailer, but then
Yeah.
we built bunk beds, and
Smart.
me and my brother did a whole bunch of shit to it. We put
Absolutely
air
smart.
conditioner in it, a
Now-
vent.
When y'all started, didn't the first day the car break down? Wouldn't like your first
Oh
day
yeah,
of tour?
yeah. Okay, yeah. The first day of the Stan Atlantic tour, we started in an RV. So
That's what it was.
We had just inherited this RV from my grandfather. I say inherited like that because I was like, this would be literally perfect for us. Like, if it can pull the trailer and everything, like, this would be so great. Like, we can just live in this and it'd be so much nicer. And I think he was trying to get like 18 grand for it or something. And so we were like, listen, we will pay that. Or no. He told us, he was like, you can pay it just as soon as, because he's, he loves me. He's my
right. Oh,
he's just trying to help me out. He's like,
sure.
And he also has a lot of money, so he's fine. So he's like, pay it back as soon as you can. You know what I mean? If it's $1,000 this year, $50 next year, you want to just pay it back as soon as you can. I was like, that's super cool. So we thought we were set. We put it to. I spent so much time and money on the RV. I got brand new 10-ply tires, all this fucking shit, trying to fix up the RV. And I was also, I don't know, I was just nervous about it because it's a big.
It's a big rig.
It's a big rig.
And a trailer, dude.
And with a trailer, yeah.
That's a lot.
I'll never forget the first day we left was on a Wednesday, and we were leaving Arkansas. We had a show in Boise, Idaho on Friday, and we were leaving Wednesday, like, evening.
Right.
So we didn't have very much time. So we leave. We're in the RV. Jathan starts out the drive. We start out going through the mountains in Russellville. And at this point, I was in such good spirits. We lit up a blunt.
It's a dream, brother.
We're all in the back. I'm like, dude, this is so fucking sick.
It's like I got my own of my life.
Yeah, like I got my own driver right now. Jason's just up there taking care of it. Then the RV starts making some weird noises. It's not making its way up the hills quite as
transmission
well as we would hope. So it's just a couple weird, and also there's just some weird, sketchy stuff about the RV. Like, you can't adjust the driver's seat.
No,
because like apparently I didn't even know this about cars or if they're mostly like this or whatever. But you know how there's like the levers and stuff on the side to adjust it. So we don't have the levers, but the wires were there that control the levers. So if you yank the wires as hard as you can move the seat around.
Good times.
So we're having to do all that kind of bullshit. I think our tires were like way under
air
pressure for being in the mountains and stuff too. So we just had all these different problems. But basically, and we had to buy premium gas for this RV, so the most expensive gas. So we get to Wichita, Kansas, and I'm driving at this point. And it's just so sketchy. And my grandfather, luckily, has a house in Kansas, and that's where they were at the moment. So I call my family and everybody, and he came and met us. So before we ever like got to the first date of the tour for us, he came and met us, and we swapped out the RV for his F-150. That's what we did the last tour in too. So we did.
Damn,
we did
F-150.
It's so wild. It's like it's just a meme for us at this point, but. Because it's so cramped. It's like, it's a nice truck. We were immediately so relieved just for how easy it was pulling the trailer and everything. Yeah. It's like, okay, whatever, we can deal with this. But the lack of space sucks. That's why we renovated the trailer and everything. That made things a lot better. But yeah, so we've done.
Damn.
We'll probably do our next tour in the truck also, but we're hoping.
Did the RV just die?
It was okay. Yeah, so this was the deal with the RV. I called everybody. And what I realized was we knocked 6 hours off the trip. We'd been driving for 12 hours. So I was like, I called everyone. I was like, hey, I don't know really what we can do about this. We got to figure something out, but we're still on our way to this first show. We're not going to be able to do the tour in this RV. I was just trying to be realistic because I was like, I mean, the RV probably could have made the tour, but we'd be a day behind the rest of the bands.
Right.
For the whole
showing
tour.
up at showtime, like, I'm sorry.
Exactly. And we were even in the truck. Like, it was our first time really doing a big tour like this, and so we ran into a lot of stuff like that where we were showing up like just in time for load in or late for load in even. So it was a lot, but we got the truck. That's what we're sticking in right now, and hopefully now that we are getting money and stuff coming in every month, we're trying to, I think, get a vehicle, a van or something like at the end of the year.
Yeah,
and that's what we're hoping for.
Get you a 3500. Something beefy.
Something nice.
And if you can find one 4-wheel drive, it's super rare, but that's like the best. That's like the end all be all. Especially for going up north and shit during this time of year.
100%.
Or just don't do that. Just tour in the south in the winter. I've never understood.
Well, in our trailer now. So this tour we did was in November, so it was cold. It was snowing in some of the places that we went to. Which, funny enough, even though it was during the summer, it snowed some of the places we went to on the San
Right.
Atlantic
Well, like,
tour
yeah, I
too.
guess like up towards the northern part of the country. It's
It
like it
was in
snows
like
in April here.
Wyoming,
God
I think.
damn.
It was snowing there when we did the
Mhm.
San Atlantic tour. But so we've, like I told you, we when we renovated the trailer, we put an air conditioner in there, like an air conditioning unit, and we've got a vent and everything in there. That was nice for the summer when we needed to sleep in the trailer and everything. But
That's
for this
dope.
tour, we just took it out and we put a propane heater in there. And my brother and I, yeah, and everyone's a little sketched out about it. But
How
I'm
did
just
Census die?
no, yeah. So
CO2 poisoning, Kurt.
we've got a carbon monoxide
Okay.
detector in the thing. Jacob
Okay.
made sure we put that in
Very
there.
smart. Very smart.
We've also got a hose so we can put the tank outside if we want to, so it's actually not in there with us
Right.
with the heater and everything. But we normally just leave it at the same time.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, but we also don't stay in the trailer like while we're driving or anything. It's just not safe. So it's only when we stop to sleep. But for the last tour we did with a band called Unwell, which was super fun. It was winter time, and it was snowing at some of the places, so we put propane heater in there, and we got one of those just big like propane tanks, you know.
Yep.
So it would last us longer. And the trailer's like the space is so small, you just turn it on
2
for like
seconds.
15
Yeah,
minutes on
it's
high
like
and then turn
nothing.
it down.
Yeah.
We're good for. We wake up sweating.
Roasting, dude.
Yeah.
You got to get one with a thermometer on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's got no. I was thinking of our air
Or
conditioner.
thermostat, sorry, not a thermometer.
Yeah, the air conditioner has like a thermostat on it, but yeah, we've just got like a little. It was so cheap too. It's just a little like Mr. Buddy heater that we put in there, but it heats it up so quick.
My brother, our heat, we don't have it anyway. The house is like no central heating and air since we moved in, so it's like window units, and then wintertime it's like, well, if it doesn't get too cold, blankets are good.
My brother had a house that he flipped like a year ago, I think, and he had a window unit in every single room and a heater in every single room, just to whatever.
Which we learned this year that's actually very, very bad.
For what?
One of our outlets caught on fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Space heaters are bad. They're not. They're supplemental. They're not supposed to be your heat
It's just
source.
on, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be like, this room is large. I need a little bit extra, and then they'll go off most of the time.
Yeah.
But for us, so my brother was like, I got one of these. They got those blowtorch propane, like it's like a fucking jet engine.
Yeah, those
He's
are
like-
sick. We
he's
have
like-
one of those for our practice room.
Dude, minutes. I have a pretty decent sized house. Minutes.
Those
I'm
are
like,
sick.
ugh, God damn, it's 100 in here. Turn it off.
I call it the cannon.
Yeah,
It kinda looks
yeah.
like a
It
cannon.
does
Yeah.
look like a little bazooka or something.
I love those.
They work too good. $200, you can't beat it.
Mhm.
Then you can heat up a whole fucking shop in an hour.
I remember
Guaranteed.
The first time we ever tried to buy one of those, they were sold out everywhere for some. It was like a cold winter or something.
Got to buy them in the summer.
Yeah, that sucked. But those
Mhm.
are good.
Damn. So what's next? Y'all just working on music? You said you went on some
Yeah,
writing
yeah, yeah.
sessions.
Boy, little more.
You can finish it. I have to go to Sam's Club after this like an adult. Here, top me out. I gotta buy butter and avocados because I'm
Yeah.
fucking dying.
Butter and for your diet or
Yes,
whatever. Your fucking heart.
Yeah.
That's what sucks
Stupid
about
heart.
getting old, dude. Is you go to the doctor, they just give you a laundry
So,
list of new shit you
Listen,
have to do.
it's my fault. Okay, I didn't realize that this was bad until hindsight's 2020. I hadn't been to the doctor in 25 years. The last time I went is when I shattered my ankle when I was 15. So it's been a minute. I didn't know that was not good, and I thought I was just tired because my balls weren't working no more. So all of it was a surprise to me. The doctor was like, I can't believe you're walking around like this.
Mhm.
You don't, and I was like, well, I don't have like red face. I don't have headaches. How would I know? My hair's not falling out.
Yeah.
I just don't, I'm just tired.
Mhm.
So, my bad,
No.
but it's good that I'm not
You got
dead.
in early though.
That's the
Early-ish,
problem.
early enough.
I got in early enough
enough.
to where now it's a mild problem.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to die, but I
That's
definitely
good.
have a lot of work to do.
For sure.
I have a long road ahead of me. Is because this isn't over. Like I have to go back for multiple blood tests for like the next 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm probably assuredly going to have to take like scans, like put me in a machine,
Yeah.
scan everything, make sure it's all good. Because I've done all the blood work. Right now it's the thyroid thing. They got to get that back
sure.
to square. But your boy's about to be trim.
Nice.
I knew these titties was fake.
Dude, that's the other thing. I lost. Okay, well, I was very. This is like a side note. I was very depressed last year. Didn't have a very good year.
Really?
So I lost a lot of weight, but also because I wasn't working construction. I haven't worked construction almost a year.
Bulked up.
I lost a lot of my muscle mass that I had. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I'm happier with. I wish I had more muscle mass. So I'm thinking about working out and stuff. Starting to do that more, like just lifting and stuff.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's crazy. I lost like 30 pounds or 40 pounds, something. It was pretty significant or something, but
that's a lot for your size.
I know that's exactly
like a quarter of your
that's
weight.
What I'm saying.
Man. That's a lot.
If you go back and look at pictures of me from like 2020, I'm much chubbier and stuff. Even though I'm like,
wow,
I look pretty similar. But I'm happier with how I look now. But it's interesting because like I was always trying to work out and like get abs and stuff when I was that heavy. But now that I've lost all the weight, Jathan tells me all the time too because he works out. He's like a monster now working out, but. He'll tell me like, dude, you could have abs so easily. I can see them when I'm just like looking in the mirror if I just flex or whatever. But I feel like it'd be so much easier for me to develop that type of stuff now or whatever.
Absolutely.
But,
yeah. Well, you're,
But I like being skinny. I do.
Losing weight is very hard. Gaining muscle is not too bad, but you do have to have like the right diet to gain muscle.
Right. Yeah. Well, that was the big takeaway for me. I was like, It just turns out I've been eating too much because I was literally I did daily ab workouts for months one time trying to get abs and I didn't I saw progress but not abs.
Yeah.
So
those guys with those ripped shit, they're eating like an apple, dude, and doing like 14,000 push-ups a day. It's like it's insane what they're doing.
Jared has abs.
Jared Williams. He was just texting.
Well, some people are just skinny.
He was like,
it's a genetic thing.
Like, Jared, I know a lot of skinny people that don't.
Well, I knew a guy who was a fucking meth addict, and he
ripped?
had abs. He was ripped.
Yes.
But that's because it's just genetically he had a good muscular structure, but he wasn't ripped because he was like strong. If you thumped him, he would die. You know? He's up all night. He's decaying as a human. Like, it's not
That's
good.
what I was going to say. He's probably
I will say, I
skinny.
still know him. He's doing very well now.
That's
is a
good.
long time ago.
That's great to hear.
This is a very long time ago. I should put that in there. He wasn't like... I was friends with him for a very long time. So it's like, I put up with this bullshit. What?
I have 2 questions.
I got roofied by him.
I kind of need to pee, but go ahead.
He roofied me.
We have 15.
Cool. Okay, I'll wait 15 minutes.
You got 15 minutes in your wiener?
I guess.
2 questions. First question.
Mine rules, by the way, Ben.
How do you go about elevating your live show? I feel like there's a lot of bands that just keep doing the same thing over and over again. I feel like more trying to make it bigger and better.
Well, Ben asks questions. I know that. He reaches out to people.
Yeah, see what other people are doing. I think. See, it's hard because part of it is being innovative, but that's not a helpful tip to tell people to be innovative.
Well,
but
be innovative or
like what Corey's doing though with their show, I think is a good example because it's interesting. It's not because you have even with posting content. That's like what it is for me. The reason that I think I'm good at that I'm good at it or better than other people is not because it's anything inherently about me that I'm good at, but I think I'm good at and with art too, like with my music, I'm good at understanding or seeing the picture of like what people will think or feel when they hear it or when they see it or whatever.
Right.
So like for me,
I agree with that. You're coming at it from every angle.
Yeah. I just try to think about the people that are taking it in. And that's the other thing. I just told somebody recently, like talking about the vibe at Vino's, they were having their first show at Vino's or something. And I was like, oh, it's going to be great. Like, and they were like, oh, I'm really nervous or something. I was like, don't be like, people that go to shows at Vino's, they're literally there to have fun, and they're going to be so supportive of you.
They came to a show. Like,
even
they're
if
ready to be here.
Yeah, even if you did completely bomb, you're not going to know just off their energy.
The only people that'll complain are the staff.
But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't even, like, it is a conscious thing we think about. We try to make each show special in some kind of way. So, like, but it's different every time. So, like, that's why I say just be innovative and be smart. Just think about how your audience is going to be taking it in.
And like, to add to that can be anything. Lame Johnny used to do a guest book. After the show, we would just hand a pen and pencil and be like, make sure we get it back. We want y'all to sign this.
Yeah.
And I still have it. It's full of just signatures from shows that we've done, and it's like so cool. But everyone was like, "That's so cool."
Especially if you go to concerts, I think it's easy to pick out what's normal and what's not. Like,
Sure.
you can just, it's easy to have an idea and be like, that's something I don't see very often or I've never seen.
And look into why like another revelation I had is why can someone know that something's not on for some reason? Like I don't know how, because there is psychological setups too. You can go against that, like you know, when you see a band where the drummer's to the left and like the singers in the middle, the guitars are over here, you're like, the fuck is going on here? It's different, but they're good at it, and I like this. You know, instead of the regular setup. But it's also like when a band's first beginning, they tend to be sloppy with their gear. They just kind of put it down, and wherever it lands, that's where it's at. But if you come to like at my Hands to War show, everything is exactly like, dude, I'm like fucking leaning down. I'm looking
the
at
same
shit.
way. I'm very
You know,
OCD. Every time we have a matching, it's my EVH head that we always use,
Right.
but the band owns an EVH cab to match it.
So it's got to be
I'm always lining up
fronting
the
and
logos
yes.
perfectly. Like,
yeah.
that looks good.
We have, you know, our heads sit behind our cabs
Mm.
because it also holds our light brain. So everything's kind of hidden. So like that has to be hidden. I don't want that out. Sometimes it has to be out and it makes me cringe. Because it's like, it's you know, it's a thing. You're setting up a vibe. Like have a vibe for yourself. It's
Exactly. I think that's the
people
other
used to
thing.
shit on people for having a production, you know? Like, no, that's good.
That's the other thing is just
Care.
is try to have a vibe, I think.
Yeah.
Because and like at
Even if it's hardcore, like lean into that.
at,
If it's supposed to be shitty, make it the shittiest, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
I'm not saying hardcore shitty. I'm saying like,
No, I know exactly
if your
what you
vibe
mean.
is like I wear raw, that's a better word. Yeah.
Exactly, and that goes back to thinking about your audience and your niche and stuff. It's like, I think that stuff is important to be mindful of because then it's exactly what I was saying earlier. Like you can work smarter and not harder if you understand the way that your audience and people.
What's the other question, Kurt?
Yeah.
This being
I do miss being in Go for Gold sometimes. I
You
love
shyster.
Go for Gold. Jared just texted me on the way here, talking to me about one
I
of their
love
shows
Go
or
for
something.
Gold too. I wish
They're
I had
sick.
some gold.
I think they're some gold. I think
when this podcast reaches 10,000
Hell yeah, dude.
on what?
10,000 subscribers.
Hey, we got 1,200.
I
Oh,
think
close to 1,200.
Go for Gold is another one of those that I think is trying. That's really what it is. I think most people are on a very similar playing field, and it just kind of comes down to like who's trying.
You know, I like that you said that because I didn't really think of it that way. You definitely put that in my brain. Like we are all on the same thing.
Yeah, and you know, I was wondering if I was gonna bring this up or not, so I'll just do it at the end. I tried mushrooms recently.
Nice.
Earlier last month at the beginning.
Did you see God?
Kind of.
Yeah?
So I'm already a Christian, so you know
Well,
I already had a relationship with God.
I'm a very spiritual person. I'm afraid of what I'll see, and then I'll be the guy in the woods. Like I don't want society anymore.
It was very interesting because I didn't really have a motive for it. I had just heard about like psychedelics and stuff, and I knew that and I smoke weed all the time, so it's like in terms of drugs, I know that mushrooms.
Which weed is damn near a psychedelic now.
Yeah,
These fucking
but I'm like,
guys.
as far as drugs go, like this isn't gonna fuck me up. I'm not gonna like get addicted to mushrooms
it's not
or
gonna be
anything.
forever. Yeah.
So I got enough that I could trip or whatever, did some research, whatever, and then I just picked a day where I could be by myself.
Oh,
and
you did
literally,
you did it alone.
yeah, that's the thing. I took 2 grams.
Whoa.
And I kind of spaced it out over like 2 hours. And my whole mindset was just, that's what's so interesting about it though, is like, I didn't know what I would see or what would happen or whatever, but I wasn't really looking for anything. I was just wanting to see a new perspective. And I thought it'd be interesting. And so I took it, like I said, I kind of spaced it out. So I didn't take it all at once. So maybe over the course of an hour and a half, maybe I took 2 grams. And then I jerked off.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude.
I think
Zen.
I think I reached my peak while I was jerking off because I'm sorry if my parents are listening, they probably are, but that's when I saw like and I haven't even told them I took mushrooms, but
Listen, we're trying to fucking change humanity here.
that's when I saw like the most visual distortion and things like that. But it was so funny because after that point, I thought it was over. I was like I, clean myself up or whatever. I'm just like, I remember I was talking to my best friend Caleb, like a handful of people I told that I was doing mushrooms that day.
Yeah.
Talking to my band, I'm like, yeah, guys, I don't know. Maybe it's because I smoke weed so often or whatever. I don't really feel. I'm literally looking back. I was fully on just coming down from my peak, fully on mushrooms. I was like, yeah, I feel pretty normal. Honestly, I'm just kind of hungry. I think I'm gonna go to McDonald's. Drove to McDonald's.
Oh my God.
Picked up McDonald's.
Is that you, Space Jesus?
Went back to my house. I'm sitting there watching TV, feeling a little bit down because I'm like, I've spent money on this.
I think you would have to.
Spent money on this. Like, the peak was cool.
Sure.
I enjoyed jerking off. Like, that was fun, but I don't know. I feel like there's more to this. So then I started asking myself, I'm eating my McDouble. Like, what was I looking for when I
so you're still very much in it. Yeah.
What was I looking for? What is anyone looking for?
Right. There you go.
Ever. And then I literally screamed. I was like, ah! Oh my God. I was like, I fucking get it, dude. This is mushrooms. I was like, but honestly, I took videos of myself talking, which most people would probably think just sounds like gibberish because it is. But to me, I remember what I was thinking and feeling at that time in that state. And I took so much away from it. Like, it was so good. So, like, I already had a relationship with God, but, like, a lot of even just, like, the philosophies of certain things that we've been talking about in this conversation, it's stuff I've kind of adopted over the last month because from doing mushrooms, I realized, like, everyone is exactly the same.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are some people famous and some people aren't? To me, it's nobody's inherently good or bad. These are just labels and stuff that we put on people because that's the way that we can understand it. But when you
have to have it.
When you're on mushrooms, you can kind of zoom outside of yourself. And it's
the consciousness state.
Yeah, and I remember talking to Nathan Close about it too. He has like just experience and stuff with it too, and he told me it makes you think about human interaction in a new way too.
It makes you think about humans, not people.
Exactly. Yes, and everyone's the same.
Like, we're all babies.
Everyone wishes.
We're all trying.
We're all trying. Everyone wants to be loved. We all wish we could be rich and famous. We're all nervous if we meet somebody new.
I don't even think it's rich and famous. I think the love thing is that's
we all want to be loved.
Something. It's acceptance.
Want to be loved and accepted. And
and rich and fame, that's what we equate it to in this country, unfortunately.
I started reaching out to my band and stuff, like there's like conversations and stuff you avoid. You don't want to talk about it, whatever. It's gonna be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm like, not to get too far into it or anything, but Jathan and Jared specifically have both been kind of going through some crazy personal stuff recently. Started texting Jared. I mean, I remember it's so funny. I was coming down for literally like 6 hours.
Yeah,
which now I know. But so I didn't even think I was on mushrooms, but I'm just having all these thoughts and feelings. I'm reaching out to people. I'm telling them I love them and stuff. I texted Nathan Close too, because me and him send voice memos back and forth.
He's such a sweetheart.
Every week,
He's
but
the
so
sweetest guy.
often because we work together and we're just friends. We talk all the time. And I had this moment when I was on shrooms for the first time. I was like, I think about this dude so candidly, as if we're not literally best friends. And I talk to him all the time, and he understands me so much deeper than other people could. Even like people like my own band, I probably talk to Nathan more than some of the people in my band on a week by week basis. So I remember talking to him and just telling him I love him and stuff. But it's all that kind of stuff. And so I remember talking to Jathan, and Jathan was like, he started out, he was thinking of it like I didn't do mushrooms. So he's thinking, what has Ben thinking about me right now? And so he was like, hey, I'm sorry I didn't post the promo content this week. I've been busy. I don't remember what he was even talking to me about. And I was literally just texting him back. I was like, bro, it's cool. I don't care. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're awesome. You do a great job for the band. Everything's fine. And I brought something up totally different. I was like, hey, how's this going? Or whatever. And then we had this whole long cathartic talk. Yeah. And
being friends again. Like, taking out all the bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think, so that's something I've adopted recently.
That's something.
I've adopted recently is mushrooms.
I think,
I
think personally, we should all be doing it. We should all have a better understanding. I think that's a lot of getting older too.
Exactly.
I go home
I think
sometimes,
so
or, I think like I said, I have a poor mindset. But then I come home, dude, my wife loves the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
My dog loves the fuck out of me.
I was so appreciative too. Yeah.
I come home to the happiest house you could ever imagine. Literally every day. I'm doing a job I fucking hate. I want to do this and music. I've never gotten the opportunity to. I'm 40. You feel like a fucking loser sometimes. But then I come home and there's just this perfect thing every day. And it's just like, God, this is wonderful. This is what it is. Fuck money.
And
No one's ever gonna remember how much money I had. No one.
I was
Not a soul.
appreciative. That's the other thing too. We're all gonna fucking die.
That's
it's
it.
like it's all perspective.
There is an end of the road, and
Yeah.
and I don't give a fuck if you're Elon or Jeff or fucking Ben Carey. On some timeline, no one knows who the fuck you are.
Exactly.
You
The
know?
most famous fucking Barack
Does
Obama,
not matter.
Trump. No one's gonna know him.
The basketball
eventually.
guys, all of them. Eventually, there's some kid out there going, "Oh," and they're just idolizing some new thing. No one knows who the fuck. You're not even in the history books anymore.
Exactly.
you
I
know?
also, this reminds me, I just watched a podcast like 2 days ago with Mike Posner. Do you know who that is?
That name sounds incredibly familiar.
He's really successful. He's a musician, but he does a bunch of other stuff. He has the song that's like, "If I could write you a song."
Oh,
to
yeah,
make
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
fall
yeah,
in
yeah.
love." So he's very successful, but he was talking about just some of this same stuff, and like I think it's good to, like you were saying, take in. I just think about it so differently now. Like
Yep.
I take in the human interaction because like we have different lives and different perspectives. Like as
Sure.
you can tell from listening to this podcast, like you have the way you've seen the world and the music industry, and then I have the way that I've seen
Absolutely.
it. And neither of them are better or worse. We're just literally
It's just
exchanging.
different opinions. We're exchanging ideas. Yeah.
I'm a human, you're a human.
But
we're
I'm not like
exchanging our
Ben's
thoughts.
wrong. He's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know. Like,
But even if you were thinking that, we'll walk away from this conversation and we'll be changed in some kind of
Absolutely,
way.
yeah,
and,
yeah.
I think about that.
I think
kind of
that's
stuff
what.
now.
That's why, in the future, like soundbite, like that's why media is dying. Like soon, within the next, I think, few years, like somebody sitting down and not having a 3-hour interview will be weird. You're like 10 minutes. I
Yeah.
don't know shit from 10 minutes.
Mhm.
Stop giving me sound bites, dog. I want to know
Dude.
who the fuck you are, because you can't fake a 3-hour conversation.
For
You can
sure,
fake
yeah.
20 minutes on fucking name a publication, right? An interview is 5 minutes and they're screaming at each other the whole time. Go fuck yourself. Now it's like this. Even if you hated me, we just spent 2 hours together.
Mhm.
We just shared all these ideas, and like you have to have like some you have to reconcile that even after the show. You're gonna be like, damn,
I think
he
dude,
is right
yes.
about X, or maybe that is a good idea,
Even
right?
the worst shit ever that
Yes.
could happen to you, like you have a horrible show, like nobody comes, or like you have a bunch of technical issues or whatever.
Technical issues are my
You come away
kryptonite,
from that,
dude.
you're like, I'm never gonna have that. It's like with us, Spring Heartbreak.
Kurt
our-
has seen me have meltdowns on stage, like fucking.
Well, like at Spring Heartbreak, when our fucking backtracks didn't come out and we spent all this time preparing, we've never had backtrack issues since then.
There
Because
you go.
we were like, let's have 4 different ways,
Fail safe.
4 different
That's right.
plans in place so that this never happens again. So
Oh, Justin always has pedal board problems, so for this show we're going down to the 3 pedals he has to have.
yeah,
We are eliminating
minimize the
all
problems.
possibility of problems. Yeah,
That's good.
even the fucking 808. I'm like, we got to have an 808 because we added 2 and 2 of the new songs. I'm like, well, how do we do it? And you have to, I don't want it on the drum kit. I think we're gonna add it into a pad so you can step on it.
Nice. Yeah.
So it's just simple. Even the fucking singer can do it.
Stand
Don't give
Atlantic.
it a time.
No. I will never.
Stand Atlantic, their bass player Mickey, he has a little keyboard on his side of the stage, and he'll do like 808 stuff with
There you
that
go.
for their instead of the backtracks.
That's another thing band members should have. You should delegate those responsibilities to more than just the drummer. The drummer historically has been like the guy that everyone goes, "Oh, you're not doing shit, guy who does the most. You do this too." Like, will you sample everything?
Yeah.
Did you see Held Tight whenever they gave Trevor?
Yes.
What was it?
When Trevor played bass for Held Tight, they gave him an 808 pedal. That
Yes,
he,
it was on a
he would
pedal.
fucking just hit it
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh, and like a bass drum.
Amir
thing.
did that at the Village, and they put it in the center of the stage so anyone at any time could hit it.
Oh, my
It was the most
goodness.
obnoxious fucking shit. Okay,
Just their
are we good? We gotta go, Kurt. All right, you want to plug some shit? Get out of here.
Yeah, okay. My name is Ben Carey. I sing for a band called Census, Census.
The band.
You can buy our merch and find our tours and everything we're doing on our website at thebandcensus.com.
You'll have a .com.
We do. The
Nice.
band, that's another.
Very
I think we
smart.
did that a year ago or something, but yeah. So we've got a website now. You can find out everything you need to know from there. And yeah, I'm at Ben Census on all social platforms if you want to follow me. We've got a show March 2nd at Vino's. It's going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
super tight, and we would love for you to be there. So
Hell yeah. Go see them on March 2nd.
Where you do a pre-
Oh, is there pre-sales? Is there a link?
It's online pre-sales, but yeah,
So there's a link,
$10
like, on your page.
pre-sales, 15 at the door, I believe.
Smart. All right, we're Crashcast Pod, Twitter Crashcast Pod 1. Please do Patreon. It's only $5 if you want, and we're gonna be doing extra stuff in April. It's gonna be fun. Gonna add a new segment.
And I would like to point out we did kill
We crushed the entire
this entire bottle of wine. So
I'm
let's
feeling
fucking
pretty
go.
good.
Thank you guys for that, by the way.
Thank you, dude. Thanks for sitting in. I was actually very excited when he told me you were coming on. I was like, yes, we need this. I need some perspective because I've been in my head a lot about some things, and Ben's got his finger on the
Talk
pulse.
it out,
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Peace. Woo! That's a good-ass podcast, dude.